from Pakistan. My husband is a government employee. His company deducts some amount from his salary every month and then adds some amount from their side, after which this amount is deposited in the bank. They will give this money back to my husband at the time of his retirement. According to bank laws, they will add interest to this amount. I want to ask, is this money halal for us? Because apart from the added interest, our earning amount is also in it. The question posed by the sister is common, that most of the countries in different parts of the world, they have this, that when you take up a job, it's a requirement of the law that the employer, when he pays the employee the salary, a small percentage of the salary is taken and put in the provident fund or a fund by the government. And in Malaysia, it is 12%. It's taken from the employee's salary and from the employee's salary. And the employer, he adds 13% from his side. So 25% of the amount of the salary is put in the provident fund. In some countries it's 8%, some it is 10%. And this money is most of the time, depending upon the country, it is put and invested or put in a bank, which gives interest. If it's an Islamic country following the Islamic law, there can be government policies where this money is put in Islamic investment. If it's put in Islamic investment, it is halal. If it's put as in a bank with interest, it becomes haram. So in such cases, what you should do? As Allah clearly mentions in several places in the Quran, that riba is haram. But Allah also says in Surah Baqarah, chapter number 2, verse number 270-279, where it says that give up your demands of riba. And if you give up not your demands of riba, of interest, take notice of a war from Allah and His Rasul. But it continues and says that you can take the principal amount. That means if you have given some money on loan on interest, giving on loan on interest is haram, taking interest haram, giving interest is haram. If you have done that, you can take your principal amount back. So in this case, your percentage of your salary that has been deducted from your salary is your money. The employer is adding a similar amount or a little bit more from his side to this fund. That is also permitted. The interest that is earned is haram. So in such cases, if it's a provident fund or a scheme by the government which is put in a bank and interest is given, what you can do is you can take the principal amount. You can very well calculate that you have worked in this company for 10 years and your salary was X amount and this percentage was deducted, whether 8%, 10%, 12% deducted. The employer from his side put another percentage, calculate that. You can very well, when you retire or when you require the money, you can take the principal amount that is put from your side, deducted from your salary and added by the employer, that is halal. The interest amount can be left back. That's not permitted to take. Or if they force you to take it and give in charity, because we cannot utilize that. If it's an Islamic country where the provident fund is such, where it is invested in an Islamic investment, like how they have insurance of takaful, where they do an Islamic way of investment. So similarly, if it's an Islamic provident fund, where the fund is invested in a Sharia compliant fund, then the complete amount can be kept by you. But most of the countries in the world, they put it normally in a bank, which involves interest. So see to it that when you get this money, you purify the money by taking out the interest amount and give it in charity, maybe for building toilets or for helping the poor people. But you cannot utilize that part, but the principal amount which is of yours and your employer what he has put, that you can utilize, that is your money.